All right, so part 2 of episode number 2 of Awesome Hardware. Welcome, guys. If you guys are just joining us, this is part 2 again. So if you haven't seen part 1, go over to Paul's Hardware, his YouTube channel, and check out part 1 so you can find out all the glorious stories we were just talking about. So Paul did all of his segments in that video, and now we're going to be going over for my segments. I have 4 segments now that I'm going to be talking about.
Yeah, you do.
And I do.
Speaking of.
Speaking of.
Keep talking, Kyle.
All right, I will keep talking. And so basically where Paul left off in part 1 of this episode was he was talking about some tech news. And so the way we're going to do this right now is...
Explain how the show works. People on your channel
Alright, so if you guys are familiar with how the show works, Paul and I are dividing up the show into 2 videos, essentially. The first half will be shared on one of our channels, and the second half will be shared on the other one of our channels. And we're going to alternate who gets to go first each week. By the way, each episode is on Tuesdays at 5 o'clock, more or less 5 o'clock. It's kind of a loose, structured format and timing right now.
Did we start at 5?
I think we started at 6.
We started at 6
But
today.
I think we agreed that we would try to aim for 5 in the future.
5?
Or maybe we should do 6.
How about 5:30?
5:30.
I know I saw at least a few people say, hey, if you do 5:30, I'll be able to get home.
All right, just for those few people, we'll aim for 5:30. Again, this is our second episode, so we're still getting a feel for how things work here. But you can count on anywhere between 5 and 6 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday evenings. We will be here for you, and we'll be discussing tech news of the week, and we have kind of a nice structure laid out. So the first half will either be Paul or mine's portion. We're going to be alternating that, and we each have segments that we go over. Paul has 4 unique segments in his half of the show, and I have 4 unique segments in my half of the show. So, like I said, this is part 2. Paul just got done with his 4 segments. Now I'm going on to my 4 segments.
You know what I think we need is a really succinct way to say all that.
I know. I am the worst of consolidating information into easily digestible sentences. Just so you know.
We've only lost about half of our viewers. So
what?
We're just kidding.
You're full of it.
I'm totally kidding.
All right. On with the news.
On with the news.
Continuing on where you left off, Paul, I'm going to be talking about some tech news. First on my list is the Nvidia GTX 970 lawsuit.
Goodness.
Which a lot of you guys have heard of. This revolves around the whole issue of their false advertising of 4GB frame buffers on the GTX 970, which, as we all know by now, most of us know, was a kind of a skewed element of truth. There was 4GB, however, half a gig was a special low priority reservation of memory that was 80% slower, about 80% slower than the typical GDDR5 memory that was promised. So, it's a class action lawsuit, which means, as Paul explained to me earlier, a law firm is basically suing Nvidia for this false allegation. And not only was the frame buffer allegedly falsely advertised, but also the render output units, the ROPs. 56 actually talked down from an advertised 64, as well as 1.75 megabytes of L2 RAM cache, as opposed to the advertised 2 megabytes.
And this is where the law firm responsible for this case actually has grounds to create a class action lawsuit, because what they're saying is what was sold to customers is different than what was advertised.
Right.
And that is something that you can legitimately do a class action lawsuit over. Now,
yeah.
What do you have personal opinions on this particular action, Kyle? Because I personally, at least in this situation, I don't necessarily think a class action lawsuit is something that's going to benefit anyone other than the law firm that's handling it.
I think it's strictly for personal gain. I think whatever lawsuit is responsible for this class action lawsuit is, did I say lawsuit? Law firm, whichever law firm is responsible for this.
Uh-oh.
Oh God, I got it! I got it!
So one other thing that we didn't really mention at the beginning of this show is that we are working on our camera equipment.
Yes.
And whereas right now we have camera equipment that gives us a really nice, vivid, clear picture.
The fruity bouquet.
They are DSLRs, so
they're not meant for long-term shooting.
By next week, we're intending to have different cameras to use, and hopefully we can.
Yes. Yeah. So back to the lawsuit. Like I was saying, I think this lawsuit, this law firm who is filing this class action lawsuit against Nvidia, is doing it for personal gain. I don't think they're trying to make the world a better place. I think Nvidia has already learned their lesson from all of the negative backlash in social media and just in the forums all over the internet. I think Nvidia has learned their lesson. I don't think they will make the same mistake. You know, I think they're going to be very careful next time around, and from this point on in the future. I don't think it's going to require a lawsuit. I don't think that's necessary for Nvidia to learn their lesson, so to speak.
Yeah, so I would give the same advice that I gave. We discussed this briefly on the Alt Tab show on Friday on Newegg TV, and my suggestion was, if you're really affected by this, if you have a 4K monitor, if you bought a GTX 970, if you actually legitimately went to play a game and found that it did not perform and it was specifically due to that little memory segment that affected you, and it wasn't you going hunting down trying to find it, then yes, engage in the class action lawsuit. If not, if you're okay with your 970, if you've been fine with it, I would say just don't bother, because what's going to happen is you'll send them a thing, and then 6 months to a year later, you'll get a check in the mail for $12 or something like that. Some piddly little amount, you know, that's based on the out-of-court settlement that Nvidia will probably inevitably do for this, and that's about it. The law firm will make some money off of it, and Nvidia, who has probably already very much learned their lesson by now. They've gotten enough negative press over this to last them all year. It's not really going to change how they do things or anything like that. So that would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
But yes.
All right, so moving on. You guys let us know in the chat what you think about that. My next story involves our good folks at Intel. They are aiming to achieve a 10 nanometer architecture, and even beyond that, they're trying to move away from silicon in order to achieve a 7 nanometer architecture.
This article from Ars Technica, by the way. We should remember to say where our articles come from.
Ars Technica, absolutely. We are a respectable news show. We will cite our sources. I actually heard about this article from Rooster, by the way, who's one of our mods today, Coco Canary. Thank you for the article. And I thought this was really interesting. So basically, the first chips based on Intel's new 10 nanometer process are expected in late 2016 or early 2017. And this kind of aims to avoid all of the craziness that was Broadwell on 14 nanometer. Intel was having a really hard time getting that started, so they're trying to look at moving away from silicon into something new, a new material that they are calling 3V. So they're trying to use 3V semiconductors. So instead of using silicon, they're using indium gallium arsenide, which is a completely new thing.
Short for InGaAs.
InGaAs. There you go. Yes, though Intel hasn't provided too many specifics beyond that. But ideally, these 3V semiconductors have higher electron mobility than silicon, allowing them to perform a lot faster. They can switch a lot faster while still consuming a lot less power. So you're getting less power, more power efficiency, and more performance as a result.
And I think I can speak for myself as well as Kyle here in that when we get down to this level of detail when it comes to manufacturing something like a processor, there's some of this information that is a bit beyond me. Now, specifically when we're talking about, for instance, a class of silicon, Kyle and I were debating, like, how do you pronounce this? What is the proper terminology? There are scientists out there, or engineers, who know exactly what this is. But it's a Roman numeral 3-V. Yeah. And I believe what that actually is a classification for a type of silicon. So silicon, being a semiconductor, is classified by how conductive it actually is.
Right.
So what they're talking about is a class of semiconductor that has a certain level of conductivity that falls within. So I'm guessing there are other...
perhaps?
Yeah, so there are other semiconductors besides indium gallium arsenide that might also fall into silicon class 3-V.
Right.
But the fact is that the silicon that they're using right now, the type of silicon that they're using right now, is not going to be. They're not going to continue to be able to use it beyond 10 nanometers. They're having to look at other other materials that they need to work with in order to push the manufacturing process forward and make things ever smaller, which, as you guys probably know, smaller means it uses less power, it's more energy efficient, and it's also less expensive to manufacture, because when you have when CPUs are manufactured something, they're on a big old disk, and there's a certain number of them that they can place on there, and if they're smaller, then they can have higher yields.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of like switching things up, Intel's also exploring new types of packaging. And by that, I don't mean their retail boxes.
Aha.
I'm talking about the actual die locations and how they're positioned in relation to each other. So they're exploring avenues in 2.5D, where the separate dies are actually placed side by side on an interposer, as well as 3D configurations where each die is stacked directly on top of each other. And this will also further reduce power consumption, low wattage usage for whatever case scenarios. Mobile devices will be really good for that. And such. So imagine a 3D stacked 7nm chip in the future, and I think we're talking some pretty nice performance increases with really low power consumption. Yeah.
You're an interposer.
You're what? You just blew my mind. All right, so that's some Team Blue.
Oh yeah.
Team Blue. We got some Team Green at the beginning. Sorry, Team Green, you're not doing so hot. Team Blue, you're looking good. The 7nm, and then we got some Team Red.
That was some Team Red.
Team Red.
All right.
AMD's a new family of APUs, codenamed Carrizo.
Carrizo.
Am I
have
saying
to
that
roll
right?
the R. Right?
Carrizo.
You are much better at rolling your R's than a
Carrizo.
I can do a
I made it to Spanish 3.
It sounds like a like a brain damaged Chewbacca or something when I try to roll.
Alright, anyway. A successor to the ever famous Kaveri APUs that AMD released not too long ago. Carrizo is the next step in all of that, and they aim to deliver the largest generational performance per watt gain ever for a mainstream AMD APU. That's a quote taken straight from Sam Nevziger, AMD corporate fellow. Thank you, Sam. So what we're looking at here with Carrizo is 29% more transistors in nearly the same die size as Kaveri. So obviously things are getting more efficient with every generation. That's good. New Excavator x86 cores provide an uplift in instructions per clock at 40% less power. Obviously, less power consumption is always good, and that's pretty much expected for every new iteration of APU.
I like the next one.
New Radeon GPU cores with dedicated power supply. So no more sharing power with the other plebs.
I meant the next
GPU
one.
cores. Okay. The next one is dedicated on-chip H.265 video decoding.
That's sweet.
That is very sweet. So
I love hardware-accelerated video decoders.
Absolutely. So you can kind of attribute this to something like Intel QuickSync, I would think, right?
Yeah.
More or less.
But it's H.265 in this particular case, which has a lot of benefits over H.264.
Absolutely. So you also get double-digit percentage increases in both performance and battery life. Great for mobile devices, great for desktops as well. Integrated South Bridge for the first time on an AMD high-performance APU. First chip to be compliant with HSA 1.0 specification. And this is going to make programming things like the GPU much simpler, resulting in better performance at lower power consumption again. Another benefit of HSA is the implementation of heterogeneous unified memory access, or HUMA. I like saying that. Within Carrizo, and this also reduces the number of instructions required to complete many tasks, to complete as many tasks. So just more efficiency all around, better performance, less power consumption. We're all seeing a trend here with this latest family.
And when it comes to AMD and the development, especially when it comes to the processor side as opposed to the GPU side, because a lot of us have seen less advancements on AMD side on the processors, and when it comes to processors that we'd like to have seen, because stuff like their x86 CPU microarchitecture development hasn't been as shall we say, boisterous, as robust as it could be. The thing that they've talked about recently that has most excited me when it comes to development of new technology is HSA, heterogeneous system architecture, because it has this sort of amazing way that both the CPU and the GPU can both have really low-level access to the same pool of system memory, and it bypasses a lot of stuff, and it simplifies a lot of the ways that it actually processes data and that sort of thing.
Yep.
Not to put too fine a point on it or anything, but
oh yeah, totally true.
But I mean, the fact that they're talking about power reduction, I think, is huge here, especially when it comes to APUs, because power reduction is very important when it comes to mobile chips, in particular. And that is something, especially on the GPU side, where they have some catching up to do compared to Nvidia, for sure.
Right, and it's very relevant for us desktop builders as well. less power consumption means theoretically that we could build smaller form factor systems that, in cases that might only allow for an SFX power supply, which, generally only have a lower wattage of capacity of power delivery, and for a low power consumption CPU or APU, that's good. That's good news.
I want to do a build with one of these.
Me too. I'm going to do it first. I'm going
What?
to beat you.
Why?
I'm going to beat you.
You don't have to beat me.
It's a race. All right. Anyway, so my next segment, that's all for the news for today, for the show.
Look at all you people, by the way. All you people are freaking awesome. Thank you for joining us today.
What are people doing? Oh,
I'm just looking at the viewers list, and I'm like, there's viewers. People are watching us.
That's
this
awesome.
Is amazing.
That's great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys so much for watching our show.
You believe.
Who else here?
You believe in us.
Brian's here. Fractal. It says Fractal Josh is still here.
He's lurking.
Be AFK or something.
He's just lurking. Lurking
Right.
Dirk. All right.
What's next, Kyle?
All right. So my next segment, and this is one that I did do on the first episode last week as well, and I'm repeating it. I'm bringing it back because I wanted to refine it a little bit and just give it another go. It's to fund or not to fund.
Ah, yes.
Where Paul and I talk about the latest Kickstarters or crowdfunded campaigns and whether or not they are worth our investment or precious dollars.
And based on our recommendations, all of you have to go out and either fund or defund these campaigns.
What we say is absolute.
Yes. No other options.
No. All right.
That's weird.
So the first one that caught my eye, and this is huge in the news today, is the Pebble Time smartwatch. If you guys haven't heard of that, most of us know what Pebble is. They invented, or they created the smartwatch long ago. I think Linus, our buddy Linus, was an early adopter of the Pebble smartwatch.
He likes his Pebble.
He likes his Pebble. He was an early adopter back in the day.
There's a new one he's got now, though, that he said.
Steel, Pebble Steel.
Yeah.
It's probably the latest one, I think, before the time.
I was watching Linus's live stream on Friday because I was hoping he would rail on the whole YouTube situation a little bit more, but he kind of didn't.
Okay.
He did, but he did it more so in the after party.
Okay.
What was I getting at there? Oh yeah, he said he was like Pebble, you better send me a free one this time because I'm not gonna buy one. I think that's what he said.
Because he doesn't already get enough free stuff already.
I don't know.
Jeez.
I don't complain about free stuff.
No, it's true.
I'm sure Pebble's gotten plenty of benefit from having him talk about their products.
Absolutely.
But all right. So what's the awesome stuff about the Pebble Time?
What
makes it new and special and different?
Pebble Time. What makes it different and special about previous Pebble smartwatches? They're going with a whole new system. They've created what's called their timeline interface, and what they decided was, hey, we're trying to make this smartwatch less of a distraction and more of a functionality type device for your daily life. And what they've found, and this makes a lot of sense when they say it in the video, is that any kind of watch, the best thing that it should focus around is time. So that's how all of their notifications are arranged with their timeline interface. So instead of having to go into various apps to check your various notifications in each of those apps, they just have they have all of your notifications looped into this one interface called the timeline, and you actually have hardware buttons on the watch itself for past, present, and future. And by pressing either of those buttons, it'll show you all of your notifications across all of your various apps, so that you can see how many miles you ran yesterday, or what email was sent to you 2 days ago, or if you press the future button, what appointment you have coming up, or what your new record time to beat is in the future. So it's kind of difficult to explain, but it makes a lot of sense. And they're using a new color e-paper screen, so very similar to what you might see on like an Amazon Kindle, kind of an e-reader, right? It's kind of a matte finish, but very readable in the daytime. So daylight reading is very good, as well as 7-day battery life, which I thought was fantastic for a smartwatch, as opposed to some of the other options out there, which have maybe maybe a more like shiny, polished LED screen, but you might have to charge it once a day or maybe once every 2 days. And for something like a watch, I feel we're still getting used to the idea of it, and we don't really want to have another device to have to charge daily. So I think once a week is a really great thing for something like this.
So, I see. Here's my problem here, Kyle.
Okay.
When you said there's 3 buttons on this watch for
Yes.
past, present, and future,
Yes.
my immediate thought was that by pressing each button, it would immediately either take you to the present or to the future, or to the past.
That's the Gen 2 model.
So as fantastic as that whole idea as far as coordinating the UI sounds,
kind of underwhelming.
It pales in comparison to actually being able to time travel.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, ultimately the Pebble, the new Pebble Watch's failure.
Not to fund.
Is that it does not allow you to travel through time.
One of the shortcomings that I saw...
A similar critique that I had with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4.
Next-gen console, my ass.
But I was fascinated with how quickly this project was funded.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So it had a goal of 500K, and it met that goal within the first 30 minutes of launching.
Freaking half an hour.
In the first half hour, it raised $500,000, and it is now, as of right now, $7.2 million funded of its $500,000 goal, and it still has a month to go.
See? That's all because of Linus.
Which is pretty amazing, and it's all thank you, Linus, for
Linus,
making all this happen. All the backers, all 34,000 backers, are members of the Linus Tech Tips forum and community. Thank you guys so much. But really crazy stuff.
Well, all right. So what's the verdict? We have to have a verdict.
The verdict,
right?
Okay.
Should people buy this?
All right. So if you pledge right now, it's $159 to unlock the watch, to get the watch, which I think is a good deal. I think sub $200, especially in the lower sub $200 at $159, is pretty damn nice. Especially for, you know, the kind of functionality. I mean, I've seen smartwatches that go above $300, and I can't justify that. But something like this...
That's crazy. They have 30,000, and they've already have 20,000 of the 30,000 backers for that pledge level at $179.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the watch will be retailing at for $199. So if you don't pledge early, you don't get the early bird special or whatever, you still pay $200. But I still think that's fair. Obviously, the $159 or $179 is much more attractive.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was interested in something like a smartwatch, which I'm not, but if I was,
that's really what it comes down to.
This is the one that strikes me the most as being the best bang for the buck. Let's put it that way.
So I will say that as smartwatches and, you know, wearables go, the Pebble does seem, because it's got to be practical. I don't want to buy another phone for my wrist.
Exactly.
You know, so to get the functionality for that much money, it does seem the most practical. I'm still not sold on watches, though.
Neither am I.
I'm still of the opinion that I was really, really happy when I finally started to have a pager. Gosh, I'm old. I had a pager first, and then I had a cell phone that had the time on it. And I was like, I have a pager first, and then now I have a cell phone. I never need to wear a watch again. I have the time available to me on my person, and therefore no more watches needed. I don't like watches as fashion statements. I mean, I just... Like, I'm all about function when it comes to that. If I can tell what time it is and I don't have to have something on my wrist that's going to give me a tan line and make me sweat when it's hot, and I have to put it on and take it off and I have to pay money for it, then okay. That's just where I'm at. All right, let's move on to the next one.
But to check Twitter notifications would be pretty cool, I have to say. Now, see, you'd have to go into your pocket like a little pleb. I'd just be like, what'd you say, Strider? What you got there? Oh, yeah? You got a new computer part? Cool with that. What? 7-Up. Oh, wow.
I can't tell you what I just showed Kyle. My wife has a present for Kyle. Let's just leave it at that.
Interpret that any way you want.
We'll leave it at that. Okay. I'm sure Kyle will tell you guys eventually.
Stay tuned to find out.
All right. Next up on to fund or not to fund.
Okay. This next one is a little different. Probably not as compelling as the Pebble Time, in my opinion. It's the Q-Mote.
Q-Mote,
which is the water-resistant internet remote for smartphones. It's a multifunction. I make it sound really compelling, don't terrible. I'm not sarcastic at all. It's a multifunctional single-button remote, and you can program it based on different click patterns to basically control functions of your smartphone, to make it do several different things at once. So you can do things like hit the snooze on your alarm. Let's say you have a phone dock that's across the room from your bed, and when your alarm goes off in the morning, instead of having to get up and walking over to your phone to hit the snooze, you can just have the Q-Mote on your desk, on your little nightstand next to your bed, and you can click it. And so one like little one click will shut it off. Or if you do like a long press, maybe it syncs up with your smart home. If you have lights on, smart lights in your driveway, or if you have an air conditioner that's hooked up to a mobile app on your phone, you can actually have your house boot up in a sense with one click of a button, which is kind of interesting. Works with
control presentations.
Control presentations. This would have worked great for me at Newegg when I was giving PowerPoint presentations to a group in a meeting.
You never did that.
I did once.
Once?
I did once.
Okay.
I felt very official.
And
I wish I had a Q mode. So you can do things like that.
Your smart home dreams come true.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Other various uses, you could maybe... one good thing, you could probably take a picture. If you had your phone set up, instead of using a timer, you could take a picture or a video.
Yeah.
Or you could activate Siri. I mean...
Uncompromised fashion and portability.
I don't get the fashion thing. It's a stupid keychain.
It's so fashionable it is.
No one's going to see it. It's going to be on your keychain most likely. And it might be that cool thing that you pull out as a conversation piece.
So it's like a watch battery, a Bluetooth chip.
Yes, it works on Bluetooth. Bluetooth 4.0 connects to your smartphone.
Yeah, it's like a really simple circuit board with a watch battery, a Bluetooth chip, and a little button actuator.
Now,
That's pretty simple.
If it could connect to my, well, I guess it could connect to my my HTPC.
It says IPX7, so it's even a little bit waterproof.
Yes, it is.
6 gram weight. It's got a coin battery.
Works for iOS and Android and Samsung phones and whatnot. Weighs 6 grams, about the weight of a quarter, so very lightweight. And also firmware upgrades will be done OTA, which is nice.
That's cool. So and fairly inexpensive, $15.
That is what caught my eye the most. I feel like if it was much more than that, I'd be like, no, I don't really need one of these in my life. But for $15.
After looking at the assembly and what it takes to make this product, that was my thought. Was if they're trying to charge $50 or something like that for this,
for a battery,
that would not be
with a little chip.
Excuse me. But let me tell you why I'm disappointed with this product, Kyle.
Yes, please.
When I initially looked at it, this is my problem. It's first impressions.
Okay.
It's one button, and based on the shape, it's not exactly, but it reminded me of a Star Trek communicator, right?
That all makes
so
sense.
I immediately thought this should be able to do everything a Star Trek communicator does, which means that it should not only be able to connect me wherever I am on the planet's surface with the Starship Enterprise, but it should also allow me to have access to my own personal beaming facility. Wait, there's a room down to the... People are going to kill me.
Can't help you there.
You're just not Star Trek at all.
No, I'm not.
Right? But
that was so Last Generation.
Where's the room? Where's the room where you go to get beamed somewhere? Somebody tell me this, because my wife's gonna kill me. Actually, she's way more of a star.
To the beam room.
The beam, like beam me up, Scott. Like, escort him to the
transporter room.
Transporter room. Thank you, Strider. Yes, the transporter room. So the Q-Mote needs to give you access to a transporter room for $15.
Such high demands. Perhaps competition's gotten harsh.
I'm really getting destroyed by the first impressions for these products that we're looking at. All right, we have. Is that all?
Yes.
Oh, wait, fund or no fund? What was your thought on this one?
I'm gonna say for $15, fund.
Fund
for 15.
For $15.
For 15, at least I could just play around with it for an hour or two. That would pay for the 15 right there.
I'm gonna go not fund on this one.
That's fair enough.
But again, this is purely my own personal, like, minimalist kind of ideology, which is that if this is effectively replicating a button on my phone. My phone's in my pocket.
But you don't need your phone to use it. That's the whole idea.
But there's no possible way you could make this more accessible to me than my phone.
Put it in your keychain.
In my pocket, which is where my phone is. If this is on my person, how can it be more accessible than my... Unless it's a Star Trek communicator and I have it right here and I can go like...
What if you kept it like as a pendant on your shirt and you could like press your left teat?
Then I would fund it. I guess. All right.
All right.
That's the requirement. All right, we have one more here.
All right. So this last Kickstarter for this for to fund or not to fund comes from two what I found to be hungover college dudes at Harvard, surprisingly enough.
Wait, they have 136 backers and they have $17,000?
Yes, they've far surpassed their goal. They've almost doubled their goal of $10,000. Not too much money regardless, but for what they're advertising, it's essentially a control box that generates a responsive LED light show based on music frequency. And if you guys want to visit the Kickstarter that Paul has brought up right here, you can watch the little Kickstarter video that they have. It's literally two college dudes who seem super either high or hungover or both in the video. I was just like, really? Really, guys? I had a long night. They're talking about, like, do you want the ultimate dorm party? Well, we have the solution for you.
Is it these guys?
Yeah, it's these guys. Apparently they're Harvard students. I have no idea. Why didn't I get into Harvard if these guys could? It's called the Rage. It's called the Rager. Rayger.
Rager.
Are you looking for the next level to
It's a pretty terrible name.
take your dorm parties to the next level? Anyway, it's a control box that, like I said, allows for a pretty awesome, one-of-a-kind light show that uses LED strips. Now, they're advertising this as being good for things like dorm parties, Christmas trees, all kinds of ridiculous shit. But nowhere in their mention is PC is a PC housing, which that was the first thing that caught my eye. I was like, this might actually be okay in my PC. Like, if I really wanted to bump my music, let's say I was having a party and I had like my HTPC out there and it had some LEDs and like a little side panel window, I could put some LEDs in there, and if we're bumping music, you know, on New Year's Eve or whatever, we could have a little computer dance and stuff. It might be kind of cool. But there was no mention of that. So I thought I would include this in this segment because it kind of potentially relates to PC modding or enthusiasts that like LEDs in their system, which, you know, admittingly a lot of us do. I myself like a little bit of LED lighting in my case from time to time. But there's no mention of it in the video or on the page. So I'm thinking, could this be used for something like PCs? And I think so, because the LED strips that it comes with are thin enough to fit in a PC, as well as the control box is about as thin as about as small as a smartphone.
Okay.
Probably fit it somewhere behind your motherboard tray. And the LED strips do have adhesive backing, so you could theoretically put it along the sides of your side panel window or something like that at the roof of your case.
Why,
water resistant.
Why? Oh, that's why they're doing
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, these guys are just goofs. They're total goofballs. But I just thought it was interesting that this could potentially be something that people like us in the PC industry go for, and yet it's not being advertised as such in this video or about this campaign. So, I don't know. I thought it was worth mentioning because I haven't really seen any LED strips like these that are so visually accurate with the pitch and frequency of the music. And when they're actually playing the video, the demonstration of it looks pretty seamless. Like, the way the music is flowing, it actually corresponds quite well to the LED visual representation.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know. I have to say I'm on the fence about this. I don't know if I would fund it. I want to say I would review it because it'd be free, but
that would be fun.
Yeah. So I don't know, something to consider. I just thought it was really funny because it's these two dudes. This guy with the backwards hat.
It's like this guy.
Bro,
this guy with the hat.
Totally.
This guy with the hat is the biggest selling point of this product for me.
It's the biggest anti-selling point of me.
No, it's bad enough that it goes the other way for me. It's like the hat with like the hair coming through it on the front, and he's got this kind of
like Bill and Ted,
and he just seems like really, really chill. Like he doesn't care. This thing could flop, and he does not care.
They use the word "chill" in their video.
He actually says that.
Yeah,
okay.
If you want a chill party, like, and they're not trying to be like, you know, ironic about the whole thing. That's just who they are.
Okay.
But, I don't know.
We have a quick request that we should visit I the Greek because he's streaming, and after we stream, we should visit his stream. Okay.
I know. Greek put you up to that.
Quick aside there. So, this is of the projects. Oh no! Oh. I wonder how terrible. That probably makes it worse to people when you're screaming at them. So of the projects you brought up today, this is the one I feel like I'd be most likely to fund simply because of this dude. However, I will say that looking at the pricing of this and knowing how much you can buy these LED strips for directly in Taiwan, where many of them are produced, they're making some pretty decent margins.
Oh yeah,
on the hardware at least.
Right.
I don't know how much development time they had to put into the noise activated stuff, but I would say it's cool. It'd be cool to get a nice like windowed system, like have it with your LEDs set up, put on some music, and have like the lights going. That'd be kind of cool.
That might be cool. I might contact them, and see.
I'd be more cool if I was like in
Shoot me a
college,
sample.
like at Harvard, and I was trying to have like a girl come over and impress me. Hey, check out my
PC.
Put some music on.
It dances to your pick of top 40.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So that's my segment. That concludes the to fund or not to fund segment.
I think the next segment is what people are most looking forward to, Kyle.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking forward to most because I'm going to dominate you. You will be decimated in this next segment, which again is called Face Off, where Paul and I go head to head in a 2-player game. We play a few rounds, and the loser must do something or say something stupid.
Oh, we haven't decided that, have we? Or no,
we haven't decided what that is.
One?
So I was getting creatively tapped out of ideas on penalties for the loser, so I thought it'd be cool this round, at least for this episode, for the audience to decide what will become of the loser of this game. So guys, leave in the chat right now what you would like the loser to do or say or tweet, whatever it is, any kind of ideas that you have. Please.
How are we going to decide this?
Provide. I think we're going to have to just... I think, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far.
I also don't know.
Whichever one is most horrendous.
Alright. So
that's how we'll decide.
And which game? Which
game of choice?
Shall we be,
so we had
meeting upon the field of battle?
Yes, of course.
To challenge each other. To face off for the final victory. And the skill... to determine whose skills are superior to the others.
Okay.
The ultimate championship rivalry.
What do you work for UFC or something?
I'm trying to build this up.
No need.
Ready?
So the game we're playing today, I took to Twitter and asked you guys which game you'd like Paul and I to play, and a lot of you said QWOP, which is one of my favorites, honest to God. But I just wasn't feeling it for this round. So maybe next episode we'll do some QWOP. I think
we have dancing.
We also have a couple
the truffle shuffle.
Truffle shuffle. I did not.
I don't know how to do the truffle shuffle.
I have to ask Jerry on that one.
Jerry does that one, right?
Yeah. But today's game is going to be Pac-Man, and we're actually playing the Google version, which Google created way back in the day. And it's a 2-player simultaneous round. So Paul and I will be each controlling a different Pac-Man. I think one of us is Miss Pac-Man, and the other one's regular Pac-Man.
Really?
And you can enlarge it right there so everyone can see. And I was thinking, I don't know, what do you think? Like best 3 out of 5 rounds, probably.
I have no idea. What?
Okay.
Yeah, we should 3 out of. Let's play one at least and see how long it goes.
All right.
I don't know. I turned the music up a little bit. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear it at all, but if not, who cares? All right.
All right. Okay.
Inserting coins. Wait, I got to insert coins, right? Oh, we're playing. Wait, no, it's playing.
Oh, no. Okay, WASD. Oh, we're going. We're going.
Restart.
Go.
No, let's restart.
Okay, we're restarting.
We should both
2 coins.
All right.
Got to insert 2 coins.
I do these? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think you got arrow coins. Yes. All right, ready?
All right.
I think I'm Miss Pac-Man.
And I think I'm Mr. Pac-Man.
All right.
On the right. Nope.
Going down.
Yes, yeah, I'm on the right and Kyle's on the left.
Oh boy.
Getting all these dots. Are
oh
we just
boy.
All right, are we going by score?
Oh, why isn't he going? No, we're going to see who dies.
Oh, whoever dies first. So score doesn't matter here?
No.
Alright.
Alright, you want to get score? You want to do score?
We didn't really establish this before we began playing.
Alright, we'll do both.
When the stakes are this high, it's really important to be able to establish...
Alright.
Did you die? What's going on?
No. Get out of here.
Can I... Oh, I died.
You died.
I died.
Alright, so that's 1 out of 3.
Although,
we'll do best 3 out of 5.
Although I'm winning.
What? You have the most.
I have more points.
Oh!
Actually, does it take away both of our lives? I think we have a shared pool of lives.
No.
Yeah, because it's on the top right.
Well, then what we'll just have to do is whoever dies the most.
Whoever dies the most?
Yeah. So you died once. I'd say whoever dies twice first.
Yeah.
So if you die one more time, you lose.
As long as you don't feel bad about yourself changing the rules in the middle of the game in order to benefit yourself.
The rules were never changed because the rules were never created. You see?
Rule. What? It's amazing.
Wait, why does it keep lagging?
It pauses when you kill a ghost. So you just ate a ghost,
Oh,
which paused it for a second.
Gotcha.
You ate another ghost, which paused it for another second.
I'm eating all your snacks, buddy. I'm eating all of them. Oh, yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Come here.
You.
Oh, you ate my guy. That was my guy.
Totally ate your ghost.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'm. You died.
I know.
That was your fault.
I know.
All right, why don't we go whoever dies next?
Okay. Whoever dies next.
Because I cannot
It'll be you.
possibly withdraw my attention from this long enough to see how fascinated everyone in chat is.
Everyone's
with what's going
probably
on
hating
right
us.
now.
Oh.
But well, the Manic Geek just left, so that tells you anything.
And he always watches us, so
exactly.
It's gonna be some indication of.
Wait, what's going on? Oh, because we've just beat a level.
Yes.
Gives us these little.
All right. Next person who dies has to do something.
All right,
Truffle
we're in sudden death.
We're going right now.
Oh crap!
Better go.
Thanks for. I was not even.
Okay. All right. For the record.
That's terrible.
Game over. All right, let's do one more.
It's all right. I'll take the loss.
I don't feel right.
I took
though.
my focus off the game in order to take a sip of my beverage.
You didn't know any better. We'll do one more.
One more?
All right, one more.
All right, one more.
Come on, insert coin.
All right, so this is just till somebody dies, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Last round.
Last round.
Do or die.
You know, this used to be like the absolute height of video game technology.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the fact that they were able to have multiple colors in this game.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh, thank you. It's nice that I can suddenly be about to die by one of the ghosts, and then you eat the power pellet on the other side, and then suddenly I'm powerful too.
You're welcome.
It's like we're on the same team.
But we're not.
And yet
I'm hoping you die.
We're mortal enemies.
Eat all of them.
Now there is also the distinct possibility here that we might be so good at this game that neither of us ever dies again.
Ooh.
Like right now I'm luring these ghosts over so they can fall into my trap.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, two. Come on. Oh, no.
Oh boy.
Oh, right
I wish I could block you.
Why?
That'd be great.
Oh, to like force me into the ghosts, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, we got them all. Jeez, we're just too good at this.
We are too good.
All right.
I'm gonna double check on chat.
Make sure
the
that
nasty
no one.
boy has fallen asleep.
Go.
Oh crap! I need to pay closer attention.
Last one.
Oh god, they're faster now.
Again, I miss Pac-Man.
Kyle's
Paul is male.
We're assuming that there are no copyright infringements.
No, of course not.
This is
that would never happen.
Freely distributed by Google.
Yes.
If you guys are interested in this is on the GitHub. Right?
GitHub. Yeah,
where did you find this, Kyle?
I just Googled Pac-Man Google because I knew that they had a Google version, or they had a
Did you come up with this on your own, or did you?
I did.
Okay.
I was thinking arcade game, something classic.
Oh God! Oh God! Ah, I died.
All right. So what's he gonna do? What's Paul's punishment, everyone? So we got Truffle Shuffle.
I have no choice but to take a sip of my beer.
That is the punishment. That's not
Drink.
true.
It was a drinking game.
That's
right?
not fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
right. So what do we got here? Loser buys lunch. So you gotta buy me lunch next time. Or you can show us your nips.
No, I'm not showing anyone my nips.
Everyone wants to see either Truffle Shuffle or nips.
I don't know what the Truffle Shuffle. I mean, I'll like
Truffle Shuffle. You pull your shirt up and you never seen Goonies? The chunk?
Oh,
chunk guy?
that's the Truffle Shuffle
yeah.
you're talking about? No, I don't do that.
Okay. All right. Then All right.
Not showing you my nips. It's not that kind of show.
Someone said just a strip.
Loser
sends an autographed GPU. I don't know about that. These are pretty tall orders,
guys.
Yeah,
this is a great idea to.
It's supposed to be a fun family game.
Loser puts the winner's sock in their mouth. Oh, that's disgusting.
I'm not wearing socks.
I would not want to do that.
So that means you have to put my foot in your mouth.
All right, let's do that.
All right.
No, I'm kidding. I don't want to put your foot in my mouth.
Okay. Let's just say you owe me lunch.
I owe Kyle lunch.
I'm cool with that.
That's great. Monetization of the awesome hardware
You
show.
just to buy me things.
Oh, I should switch back. All right.
I want steak.
All right. Let's.
All right. Thanks for tuning into that, guys.
The show is already going down the toilet.
Absolutely. Of course it would with my segment. And the last segment of today's show is Q&A. And this is kind of just for some fun interaction between us and you guys. So please tweet us your questions, or basically in chat, if you will.
Yeah, we totally blanked on any of that, by the way. Any time during the show being like, hey, tweet to us, guys. Our Twitter you guys already know our Twitter names.
Yeah.
So send us some tweets.
Well, the Twitter's is already down there in the lower thirds, so guys, feel free to ask us questions. This is just a nice way for us to interact with you guys and make an ass of ourselves.
It's also a nice cop-out way for Kyle to have his fourth segment of his show be like, hey, I don't have to plan anything. I'm just ask some questions.
You did Q&A
this is
last
what
week.
I did last week.
That's right.
It's the only reason I'm bringing this.
I learned the cop-out from the best.
I like this show. Quick aside while we're waiting for some questions to roll in.
Yeah.
We are planning on doing some gaming tonight.
Yeah.
Although it is about 8 p.m. right now.
Meh.
So we're going to... The show is almost over, but afterwards, I think I'm going to need to roll on home.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to be gaming at 9:30ish.
That sounds good to me.
Sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Pacific time.
Yeah, so we'll try to get an hour or so of games in for you guys.
What do you want to play? You want to play some Evolve?
Okay, what level are you now?
20?
Good lord.
21?
I can tell you've actually been playing that game.
How?
Because you leveled up like 5 levels in between the first time we played and the second or third time we played. I was like, Kyle's just playing this. Kyle's just going in and sitting down and playing like a regular video game. He's sitting and playing it.
Like a regular video game.
He's enjoying it and leveling up. I think I'm still level like 7 or 8 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. You know, I'll hold your hand. You know, we'll be on a team.
We will be streaming. I'm going to be streaming onto my Twitch channel, which is Paul's Hardware. Kyle will be streaming onto his Twitch channel, which is Awesome Sauce Network, right?
Yep.
And it'll be fun. You guys should join us.
Yeah.
So yes, Rooster, we'll play some games.
But that pretty much sums it up for now, guys. Let us know in the comment. Wait, we didn't even do the Q&A. We gotta do the Q&A. Jesus Christ.
We need to answer.
Okay.
Here's a question from O'Dizzle. Speaking of the 3.5 gigs on the 970, is there a full 4 gigs on the 770 cards that they sold last year? Yes.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. The 770 is based on a different GPU, the older architecture, the Kepler GK 104, I think, was the 770 on.
Yeah, same as the 780.
Yeah. So when they took the 970 full version that's in the 980, when they took the full version of the Maxwell chip that's in the GTX 980, which is GM204, and they had to disable or cut down some parts of it for the 970, the ways they did that, which were kind of different than they've done with chips in the past, is what caused that memory buffer weird issue, which is why it's like you wouldn't if they had done the same thing that they've done in the past to differentiate the GPUs that you get at different price points, you wouldn't have heard much about it, because people would be like, oh, well, it's the same thing they're doing to kind of, make sure that they have a product stack that hits different price points and different performance points. With the 970, they did it weird. They did it in a different way. People weren't as accustomed to it. That's why I think it took longer for people to realize how it was behaving, and that's also why you shouldn't have any issues with your 770. Thank God. Because I also have a 770 with a 4 gig buffer, and that's a really good card still.
Indeed.
Yep.
Interesting question. This is a good question from Fruitfly. Whose computer would win in a fist fight?
Whose computer?
I guess, yeah.
Which, like, between
the two of us?
our
Personal rigs?
Right now, or in like a month?
I mean, he's asking the question now. I mean, by you saying that, it can only mean that you're not very confident in your system.
If I'm being legitimate, no, I would win.
What?
Because I have a 980.
So? I have a...
You don't.
But I have a 780 Ti, which...
980 will kick the crap out. I mean, it won't kick the crap out of, but it will. It does outperform.
Okay, what CPU are you using?
Same one as you, 5960X.
Damn it. Right, fine.
Is yours overclocked to 4.5?
Which manufacturer are you using?
What?
Which board partner?
Motherboard?
No. video card?
I have a Gigabyte GTX 980 G1 Gaming. Actually, I have 2 of those. I would say I have 2 of them, in which case I would completely destroy you, except I haven't installed both of them at the same time.
You haven't even never installed them together. Yeah.
Because I'm benchmarking, and whenever I benchmark and I have 2 cards, I start with 1 card first.
See, benchmarking doesn't count. He's talking about, like, whose computer, whose system.
Did I not from the very
using?
beginning only claim 1 980? That's what I said. I am only claiming.
But then you started talking about 2 980s.
Because that exists, but I'm saying I'm not drawing that comparison here for comparing the systems.
Not concerned with what exists. Doesn't concern me.
This is.
How dare you ask that question? You're breaking up the team.
I think a good question for that would be to compare Jerry's new computer to some of the other ones that are
Dual
out there.
Xeon
Cause
ridiculousness?
Because the best gaming systems that are out there right now are going to be, if you have a 5960X, you probably, especially if it's overclocked, there's, you can't really do better than that for a CPU.
Yeah.
So it comes down to the graphics card. But Jerry's got a couple dual Xeons, so he's got a ton of threads to work with. So as far as his parallel processing power, it would probably destroy the 5960Xs. But a 5960X overclocked is going to get you better single thread performance, which is often more important for games.
Right.
So it'd be hard to do a direct comparison between Jerry's new system and like Kyle or my system that we're running right now, because you'd have to say, well, it's going to be better in situation X.
They're tailored for completely different tasks. Yeah.
That's cool, though.
Sweet.
All right.
Any more questions? So far, what's the biggest challenge that you've run into after leaving Newegg and doing YouTube full-time? That's a good question.
That is a good question. Actually, that's a fantastic segue for me to rant, which I was totally planning on ranting this morning on today's video, and then I completely forgot to.
Yeah.
So this morning, I discovered that the video that I uploaded yesterday, which was a time-lapse of my current build that I'm working on and everything, I discovered this morning that it had been flagged for a copyright claim, and I was pretty livid this morning because it had got about 15,000 views overnight, which is pretty good for one of my videos, and thanks to any of you guys who watched it. But the fact that it was flagged, it had flagged third-party content in the video, which was the song that I had used. But the song I used came from Audio Micro, which is a website, a service that provides music, which I'm a member of. So Audio Micro provides the music, and I am allowed to use it in my videos. And yet, this is probably the 5th time now that one of my videos with an Audio Micro song in it has been flagged, and the flag comes from a company called AdRev, ADREV, and that flag, I can go to AdRev and say, here's a video, and they'll remove it, but it takes some time, and the time between when I find out it's not monetized
You're
and when
losing
I do,
views.
I'm not getting
CPM,
I'm not getting money for that time. So I was pretty furious because they flag it first and they ask questions later. That's what pissed me off.
Yeah.
And also because this is a service where you would think, if they're creating this service to allow people to use music in their videos and enhance their videos by using that stuff, then why are they also actively flagging the videos of people who are users of that service?
Yeah.
Now, to Audio Micro's credit, I went and complained on Twitter, which I try not to do very often, but I was mad. I complained on Twitter, and Audio Micro, whoever's on their Twitter account, followed right up. They DM'd me. They got in touch with AdRev, and they were like, you're never going to have this problem again. So apparently they've added me to some kind of whitelist. So that was cool. So props to Audio Micro for doing that, and whoever is behind that Twitter account. They were very helpful and very accommodating. However, in my opinion, if I'm already a member of Audio Micro,
have to do that.
I should already have been a member of that whitelist.
Yeah.
I should not, after the amount of time that it takes to film a video, to plan a video, to film a video, to write a script, to edit the video, to upload it, to do annotations, to do any post-production stuff you do for overlays and all that kind of stuff. After I finally uploaded the video, which to me is like, upload the video. Okay, I gotta do annotations still. Annotations. I can say one other thing about annotations. But, like, to have to go back, another half an hour later, however long it takes, and be like, alright, was it flagged? Was it flagged by the company that I have a legitimate service agreement with to use their content? No, I don't think I should have to do that. So,
yeah.
You know,
it's been happening to me too lately. Like the last couple of videos that I've used songs from Audio Micro, because I'm partnered with Full Screen as well, have been gotten flagged, and I actually haven't been checking the ads to see if they've been playing or running on my videos, but chances are some of them haven't been. Yeah, and it's really disturbing and kind of
it's something you've got to check. AdRev has a web portal. You go and you put your name in and you put the video URL, and they do have people working on it. It won't take a week. It's usually within a few hours, or maybe 12 at the most.
Right.
They will take the copyright claim off, but still, for that time between when the video goes up and the copyright claim comes off, I'm not getting any of that money. And
you know, when you get like matched third-party content on one of your videos from a song, you have the right to dispute it on YouTube if you think that it's been filed.
That's terrible. That method
that doesn't work at
months. You might as well just take your video and unlist it.
Exactly.
Because the amount of time it takes YouTube to get back for something like that is terrible. So the suggestion I got from Audio Micro was, well, if you upload the videos unlisted, then you can wait and see if they get flagged for third-party content. But again, like, I was kind of rushing all weekend to try to get this video done, along with other stuff that I had going on over the weekend. I wanted to post it on Sunday, and I hadn't. I've delayed it till Monday. I wanted to get it ready. I had been tweeting about it. I had people ready to see it. Like, I don't want to like sit there and wait for their algorithm to see whether or not my video is approved.
Yeah,
that's lame. So yeah, that would be immediately my biggest frustration right now, is some of the things that you have to deal with as a YouTube creator, especially when you're relying on it for a primary source of income, or at least a significant source of your income. Because sometimes it's just like there's nothing you can do about it, and it can be very frustrating. So I'm still up in the air as far as Full Screen goes. They're my network right now, at least for the next 5 or 6 months until my contract runs out. I gotta see if that's still worth going for, because for me and the Full Screen partnership I have, Audio Micro was like the biggest benefit I got. I was like, oh, I have music to put in my videos. That's something helpful, but I don't know. So I'll have to keep an eye on it and see if any further videos get flagged. You need to complain to the Audio Micro Twitter.
Right.
Get yourself on that whitelist too.
For sure.
Audio Micro should be adding everyone to sign up for their service. They should have something
ridiculous.
where you can put in your YouTube channel so you don't get flagged.
Yeah.
That would be the best way to do it.
It's really the one reason why I'm glad I'm partnered with Full Screen, is because I have access to that rights-free music. But if that's going to be a struggle for me to just be able to use that music that I was promised initially with the contract that I have with Full Screen, then it's like you're really not giving me any kind of reason to stay contracted with you.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I
mean? these are specific scenarios that we're talking about with our company. Rooster is mentioning another situation. He had a video where he was playing guitar, like a cover of something,
he told me about
and his
that,
video got flagged. So yeah, this. I mean, and a lot of this ties into the stuff we were talking about, like YouTube's new policies as far as like what you can and can't include in videos. And really, what it comes down to is any of these types of policies that they decide they want to enforce, they're going to have some means of enforcement. And because there are so many people uploading so much stuff to YouTube, they're going to have to go with automatic means of enforcement.
Yeah.
And up till now, what they have leaned on for that type of enforcement is automated means. And whenever they have something automated set up, it's often going to suck. It seems more often than not, it's going to be a more blanket enforcement, and then you're going to have to pick out those exceptions.
Exactly.
And that benefits much more so Google
than it does the user.
YouTube than it does the users who are just trying to create content for the fans out there.
Because then the burden of proof is on us. And it's exactly like you said, it's guilty until proven innocent, instead of what it should be the other way around.
So what I wanted to do this morning, and I'm going to look into, because it's something I've been interested in a while, like I play a little guitar. I've been fascinated with like the kind of chiptune stuff that Logan has been doing, this Vihander. Like those music has come out with is fantastic. So I've been thinking about trying to delve into like a little bit of creating my own music. That's what I would feel the best about, because I feel like it's mine. I can use it however the hell I want to.
Exactly.
So yeah, that might be an option for me, but that's time consuming as well. So yeah, those are the difficulties of being a YouTube creator.
Long-winded but very valid answer. Well,
yes, I know.
Indeed. So another question was, okay, this is kind of a lightning question. Craft beer or craft food? I'd have to go with craft beer.
Yeah.
I love food. But I mean, I'm just as happy with like a Del Taco burrito than I am some delicious gourmet craft food. Craft beer, though, I cannot pass up.
That's true.
What else we got?
We had a UEFI question. Viper4060 asks,
Oh, yeah.
hello, he's installed Windows 8.1 with a native UEFI Asus Maximus 6 formula. He's not getting fast boot times, 35 plus seconds with the GTX 780 Ti. I'm guessing you also have an SSD. Yeah, when you do a Windows 8 installation, in order for it to do the UEFI hooks to tie in for those super fast boot times, it needs to be a native UEFI installation, which means you need to have the UEFI and your storage configuration set up prior to the installation. I have not worked with it enough to know if there's ways to go about setting that up after the fact, after the installation is done. All I know is that when I've had everything set up properly, which means that you have a UEFI capable BIOS that's in UEFI mode, that if you have a Windows 8 option there, that's enabled. You have AHCI or RAID mode for your SSD, and you do a clean Windows install, then it should install properly, especially with an Asus motherboard. If that's not working, or on top of that, update your BIOS first, or your UEFI first, to make sure you're on the latest version. Yeah. You should be able to use USB BIOS flashback for that one, and that is my best options. Yeah. That's another possibility too. Victor SCU is also giving some stuff in here. Is that you have another device connected that is causing some sort of hang. Some devices with option ROMs. Switch off of RAID mode if you're in RAID mode, unless you're using RAID. RAID mode can add at least a few seconds to the boot time. But try booting with, like, unplug everything you possibly can, any USB devices, anything like that, because I've definitely had situations where a system was hanging on boot, and then just unplug that USB drive and suddenly it boots. Yeah. So that's another possibility. Yep. But yeah, we should probably wrap the show up.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Ooh, goodness.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this segment. Again, thank you. We're going to be back next week on Tuesday, aiming for anywhere between 5 and 6 p.m.
Paul just showed up.
Pacific time.
Paul got here in time for the outro.
God damn it, Paul.
Cheers to you, Paul.
Cheers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let us know via the chat or at our Twitter accounts what you guys thought of this show. Obviously, we've kind of polished it up a little bit since the first one. I think the shutter was still going off a few times, but we're going to try to get that worked out, as we mentioned before, and we're really looking forward to shooting the next episode.
Yes, we are.
So thank you guys very much, and stay tuned for more updates about the show, and we love you all. You're all beautiful.
Next week, by the way, if you want to tune in, we're going to shoot for what? I'm thinking 5:30. I like that.
5:30 sounds like a sweet spot to me.
5:30 sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So we'll shoot for 5:30 Tuesday next week. Stay tuned for that. And you'll also be able to watch these on our individual YouTube channels very soon. I'm guessing tomorrow.
That's right. Thank you guys for watching. We love you. And stay tuned for the after party.
Oh yeah, after party. Maybe an hour and a half. I have to drive. I have to pack all this stuff up and drive home.
Yes, so let's regroup in about maybe an hour to an hour and a half. Let Paul get settled into his house again, and he's going to be streaming at Paul's Hardware, twitch.tv/Paul's Hardware.
Yes.
I'll be streaming at my channel, twitch.tv/Awesome Sauce Network. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later.